First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest, Alazar Maloya, a.k.a. the Gorilla Hebrew.
And this Hassan.
And we back at y'all with another class. This Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, late Tuesday night / early Wednesday morning class. We're going to be going into a portion of the history as well as the Torah, of course. As we usually do about this time, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Still a little under the weather.
Yeah, a lot of under the weather in my case, unfortunately. But I can do all things through Christ who
strengthens
me.
That's right. Bring that out.
Yeah.
This brother Sicarii has some great video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Y'all be looking for this week or this weekend, probably about Saturday. It's gonna be great, and I want y'all to make sure y'all tune into that. Saturday will be premiered. Wait for that. But dealing with the business at hand, which will be, of course, this class. Brief announcement. Ain't gonna be too big of an event, but Most High will. You could catch me in Times Square this weekend, on Saturday night with the brothers from HOI. So if y'all in New York and y'all been trying to come out and see me, say what's up, whatever, pull up 42nd Street. Pull up to 42nd Street Saturday night in Times Square. I should be there if it be the Most High's will. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, super chat, all of that. How are y'all? Real quick before we get into it, give people some time to get in here. Real quick, how did y'all like? If I get some brief feedback, if y'all tuned into, or if you caught the, maybe not the premiere, but you caught it after the the strip club video that came out last night. Ooh, San Bernardino time. Did I just see Rama 1 in here? Rama 1. Let this brother Elemento Activio know what time y'all start camp out there in San Bernardino, Bob Kusha.
That's Rama, I think.
No, Rama 1 is in there too.
Okay, cool.
I think Soldier Rob Maya liked it. All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Still a second part. There's still a second part coming, y'all. Still a second part coming. On top of that, if y'all want the full uncensored footage, unedited, uncut footage, you go to Patreon, pledge at our Patreon, and you can get that. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do now is this. On Patreon, it was originally only available for the $15 tier subs. What I'm gonna do right now, as we speak, is make it available for all tiers. So anybody, you pledge any amount, you'll be able to view the unedited version of this. Patreon only. Okay, boom. So it's official now. Anybody on any pledge level, you could watch the uncut footage from Magic City. Especially Captain, Captain's, a lot had to be cut out of Captain Tazamaz speaking for the purpose of YouTube and how sensitive YouTube has become. But you can catch it, again, uncut, right there on Patreon. Patreon link is in the description. At any pledge level will give you access to that video at this point. 1 p.m. Yeah, Elemento. 1 p.m. If you got that, okay. All praises. What's up, Officer Ayasha Wad, Officer Tazapanya, Soldier Rahmaya, Soldier Ramwan, everybody that's in here. Yahba Shemel Shabarakatham. Hey, Righteous Hate, man, you gotta chill out, bro. You gotta chill out. It's not time yet, man. What the time is you need to harness all of your energy into waking up your people and calling your people to repentance. What?
This is Sirach 2:14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you?
You know what I'm saying? So don't lose patience, because destruction comes to those that lose patience, brother. Shalom to the sister Ali Yashabai and the Ima, one of the top supporters.
Shalom to that powerful sister.
All praises, I agree with true. All right, so we're going to get started. People are starting to come in, so we can get started. Let's start with the history. Let's start with the history. Tazapanya, Maiko, let them know. So we start Exodus 5 all the way to the end of the 8th chapter.
This is Exodus chapter 5, verse 1. It says, And afterward Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Let my people go.
That's right. So this is that world famous quote, let my people go. It's how it opens up here in Exodus 5. Let my people go. Read on.
Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
It's not just even fully let my people go. The first request is not to fully liberate the Israelites. The first request is simply give us the freedom to practice our religion, so to speak.
Okay.
Let us separate away from y'all and what y'all do, and let us simply worship our God in the wilderness. Read.
Con. It says, And Pharaoh said, Who is Yahweh, that I should obey his voice?
So see, here's the hardness of the heart of this heathen. Who is Yahweh, he says. He challenges the only living God. Right, read.
That I should obey his voice.
He said, I'm not going to listen to him. Who is he? Soon enough, this same Hamite heathen will find out who Yahweh is. Read on.
To let Israel go. I know not Yahweh, neither will I let Israel go. And they said, The God of the Hebrews hath met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto Yahweh our God.
Yeah, let's just go. Let us do a 3-day journey and sacrifice, and we'll be back. Right, read.
Lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword.
Our God is gonna punish us if we don't go do this. Right, read.
And the king of Egypt said unto them, Wherefore do ye, Moses and Aaron, let the people from their works get you unto your burdens?
He said, first off, do you think for a second I'm gonna let you take my slaves and my servants away from their jobs for 3 days? Oh no. A lot of y'all know what's going on now. I'm sending all kind of letters passively threatening employers right now. You know why? Because the employers do not want to let their workers off for the Passover. You know how many brothers and sisters who want to come to the Passover are hitting me up right now? Just talking about these devils don't want to give me a day, 2 days off so I can travel and attend the Passover, so we have to send passive threats to employers, right? This is the same thing all over again. So read.
It says, And Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens.
There's so many Israelites here, and you got them not working with all this freedom talk. Right. All this, your God's going to save you crap. This is what he's saying. Right, read.
And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore. Let them go and gather straw for themselves.
He said, so now we're not even going to supply them. It's seeming as if they're idle. So we're going to make their job harder on them so they have more tasks to do, so they're more occupied with work. America runs their country the same way. Occupying people with work so they are distracted. Right? Read.
It says, verse 8, And the tale of the bricks which they did make heretofore ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish aught thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to our God.
You see that? So they're saying that the only reason that we want, and this is the same reason why scoffers come by us on the streets or come on our comment boards and say, get a job, right? They think the only reason that we're on the street corners and we want to serve our God is because we don't have a job. But brothers have jobs. Brothers have business, etc. It's not that. But they think, okay, they need to be, if they were more occupied with work, they wouldn't care about the oppression they were going through. They wouldn't be seeking God if they were more occupied with working and building their oppressor's kingdom. We see all these same parallels in ancient Egypt and this modern Egypt, right? Read.
Come. It says, let their more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words. And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where ye can find it, yet not aught of your work shall be diminished. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt, to gather stubble instead of straw. Yeah, and that's we were scattered because I remember we did a video a while back addressing certain brothers that said, due to the fact that we're, and this is not just these particular brothers, but just in general, there's people that are under this line of thinking that because we're scattered, that doesn't mean that means we can't find out which tribe we come from or who we are necessarily. But right here, we were scattered abroad in Egypt. So you tell me we didn't know what tribe we were from?
Yeah, we came out of Egypt in tribes.
It says, so the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, fulfill your works, your daily tasks, as when there was straw. And that's wicked as hell. How is that even possible? And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today as heretofore? Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying, wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? There is no straw given unto thy servants, and they say to us, make brick. And behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thine own people.
Yeah, y'all beating the hell out of us. It's y'all fault, right, Reed?
But he said, ye are idle. Ye are idle. Therefore ye say, let us go and do sacrifice to Yahweh. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you. Yet shall ye deliver the tale of bricks. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in evil case. After it was said, ye shall not diminish aught from your bricks of your daily task. And they met Moses and Aaron, who stood in the way as they came forth from Pharaoh. And they said unto them, Yahweh look upon you and judge, because ye have made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh.
You see that? So Israel is now mad at Moses and Aaron. And it's the same way what some of our people are mad about against us. Why are they mad? Because they feel like us taking the stand that we're taking, challenging our oppressors, standing up for our God, they feel like it is making it's harder for them. You're giving all of us a bad name.
Right.
You're starting up trouble. You see what I'm saying? That's the ideology that's here. Don't go starting up trouble. Let master just, let's just serve master. But no, radical brothers is going to stand up against that, man, through the spirit of the Most High. Right? So, and that's the same way we doing it now. In the same spirit of Moses and Aaron. That's how all the brothers that's on the streets are coming in now. Right, Reed?
God, ye have made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to slay us. And Moses returned unto Yahweh and said, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me?
So Moses is confused now. What's going on? Why is this happening? I didn't believe you sent me out here on this type of a mission. Right, Reed?
For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people, neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. Chapter 6, verse 1. Then Yahweh said unto Moses, Now shalt thou see what I will do unto Pharaoh. For with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land.
Just be patient. Wait. Don't worry about it. Watch how I do, Pharaoh. This is all a part of the plan, Mo. Just do what you're told. Read.
And God spake unto Moses, and said unto him, I am Yahweh. And I appeared unto Abraham, and unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty. But by my name Yahweh was I not known to them.
See, so he appeared unto them as Alashajah, but he's going to make himself known as Yahweh through the marvelous salvation that he's getting ready to do, bringing Israel out of Egypt. Right? Read. precept?
Yeah.
What is that in thing with Jacob? Oh, okay. Oh, you know the Psalms. You're right.
This is Psalm chapter 9, verse 16. Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. That's pretty much it on the
There
point.
you go. That's how he was made known, through executing that judgment on Egypt for oppressing us. Right? Read.
Verse 4. It says, "And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh your God, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
Go ahead.
And I will bring you in unto the land, concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for an heritage. I am the Lord. And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses.
So here it is. The same dilemma that we're all facing, all the prophets face. You speak to the children of Israel, and they don't listen. Right? Read.
For anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage.
Because of the hell that they're going through, they don't want to hear nothing about it. Same way a lot of our people are now. Right? Read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land, Salakia. And Moses spake before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips? Verse 13. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, and gave them a charge unto the children of Israel, and unto Pharaoh king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These be the heads of their fathers' houses. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanak, and Palu, and Hezron, and Carmi, these be the families of Reuben. And this is about to be a cut right here, verse 15. For you Mamzer doctrine believers, you're about to get eviscerated. Verse 15. And the sons of Simeon, they're Israelite, naming them of the tribe of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jakin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman. These are the families of Simeon. So how do you get around that? It just listen we go to God, there's so many cuts, but this literally lists him under the tribe of Simeon. So how do you explain that, buddy? Verse 16. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations: Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libni and Shimei, according to their families. And the sons of Kohath, Amram and Izhar and Hebron and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. And the sons of Merari, Mahali and Mushi, these are the families of Levi according to their generations. And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. And the sons of Izhar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zikri.
So it's just going over all the families that each of the patriarchs had and how they began to be clans or families or bands amongst their respective tribes. Right, Reed?
Yeah. And the sons of Uzziel, Mishael, and Elzaphan, and Zithri. And Aaron took him Elisheba, daughter of Amimadab, sister of Naashan, to wife, and she bare him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah, Asur and Elkanah and Abiasaph, these are the families of the Korites. And Eleazar, Aaron's son, took him one of the daughters of Pudiel to wife, and she bare him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their families. These are that Aaron and Moses, to whom Yahweh said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt, according to their armies. These are they which spake to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel from Egypt. These are that Moses and Aaron. And it came to pass, on the day when the Lord spake unto Moses in the land of Egypt, that Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, I am the Lord. Speak thou unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say unto thee. And Moses said before the Lord, Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips. How shall Pharaoh hearken unto me?
So here's the Most High sending Moses. Moses is talking about His lips being uncircumcised. What he's referencing is he was not an eloquent speaker. Right, read.
Chapter 7, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh.
Most High said, don't worry about it. I made you a god to Pharaoh. Right, read.
And Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
And Aaron is your prophet. Right, read.
Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth mine armies.
You're going to keep going to Pharaoh. Don't be surprised. He's not going to listen to you. Stop being all messed up about that. Right, read.
And my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt, by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And you know that
that's right. So he don't know Yahweh. Yahweh saying he's going to know me when I save y'all up out of Egypt. Right, read.
And Slaki, that just reminded me of where it says in Titus, I believe it's the 2nd chapter, that all people are going to see the salvation, right?
That's right.
Well, those Egyptians saw the salvation in Israel too.
Was that right. Were they saved?
Were they saved? They knew the Most High.
That's right.
Because they got their ass whooped.
That's right.
It says, verse 5, and the Egyptians shall, verse 6, and Moses and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded, and commanded them, so did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron's 83 years old.
80 means 80. 83 means 83. Read.
When they spake unto Pharaoh. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent.
Then, so this is quote unquote magic, right? Read.
It says, Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments.
So like it, Claudio, look up Sicarii Zelotes. I'm going to type it in for you. Sicarii Zelotes. That's our Spanish channel. Sicarii Zelotes. So they just did one earlier today. So they're hitting with the Spanish edification. We got, a lot of Spanish speakers. Issachar, Zebulon, Asher, etc. So go to that channel, search that channel in, and you'll find what you need. Read.
It says, For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said.
So Aaron throws it down, rod becomes a snake. The two Egyptians throw it down, their rods become snakes, but the one that Aaron had were able to devour the other two, showing the power that the Most High was doing. Right, read.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuseth to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against thee come. And the rod which was turned into a serpent shalt thou take in thine hands. And thou shalt say unto him, Yahweh, God of the power of the Hebrews, has sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hereto thou wouldest not hear.
So make another, what am I looking for? Another petition to be freed into the wilderness, just for a 3-day period to worship the Most High, right? Read.
Thus saith Yahweh, and this thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink.
So here come the plagues. This is the plagues. All with the same rod, right? Read.
And the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so as Yahweh commanded, and he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. Excuse me. It says, And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them as Yahweh had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that Yahweh had smitten the river.
So that river was turned to blood, right? And that, they have a presentation, a documentary that did. History Channel, I believe, did it, where they showed how all the plagues were chain reactions one to another, right? So just keep going.
This is Exodus chapter 8, verse 1. It says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber.
Because once they did what they did to the river, and it was turned to blood, it's going to drive the frogs out naturally. This is how the chain reaction works. So what's next? The frogs are coming out. That's their ecosystem, that water. When that blood is coming, because the death is there, things are dying, they have to flee up out of there. They're reptilian. They live around water. They're what is it? What's the term I'm looking for? They're not aquatic. Marine. They're like marine life, so to speak. But they also live on earth, right? On the dry land, right? So read.
Okay. It says, And upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. It says, And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants.
So it's because of what's going on in the river, it's sending the frogs out in a mass exodus. And that's causing another nuisance in the Egyptian society, right, read?
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, Entreat ye the Lord that he may take away the frogs from me, and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifices unto the Lord.
You see, so here's this Pharaoh. All right, y'all are putting hell on us. Ask your God to take this away, and I'll let y'all go, right? Lying ass heathen. Read.
And Moses said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me, when shall I entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses, that they may remain in the river only? And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto Yahweh our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy house, from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people, they shall remain in the river only. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto Yahweh because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses of the villages and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said.
What verse was that?
I'm at 15 right now.
1 second. So as we can see, it says, but when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, so I just want to look at this word of respite in the Hebrew. Rawaka, and it means respite. Oh, relief. They were relieved. Right? Once he saw that they were relieved, heart went right back hard. To hell with y'all. All right, that's done. Cool. I'm going back on my word. Right, Reed?
It says, verse 16, And Yahweh said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magician... Hold it. Okay, come on. And I'm also holding Wisdom of Solomon 17.
Okay. So the lice coming in the land. You study the history of the Nile Valley, Egypt, Kemet. You know lice was a constant problem amongst those people. It's why some of them say they would shave their body and their face, and you wouldn't see them with facial hair and things of that nature, or hair on their head a lot, because lice was such a problem again, you got to analyze these are people who were being told by our people are just so great, yet they had lice.
Right.
And in America, Jake is infamously known for not getting lice.
Yeah.
Yet the Hamites, the Egyptians who niggas want to be, them niggas had a bad lice problem.
Yeah. Okay.
See what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Okay.
If you have your precepts.
Okay. I'll just read it after we get done with the chapter.
Okay.
This is Exodus chapter 8, verse 17. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hands. Verse 19. It says, then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as Yahweh had said. So even the magicians were saying, this is the finger of God. And then Pharaoh still ain't listening. Verse 20, and the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground wherein they are. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that thou mayest know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth. And I'll put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And Yahweh did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron, and said, go ye, sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, it is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God.
That's right.
Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes?
Meaning it would be offensive. The animals that we sacrifice, the Egyptian will be offended by. This is the same way like in East India.
Yeah.
If you kill a cow or eat a cow, they're offended by that. A cow is sacred in their mind. So it wouldn't be wise for you to do that in front of those people. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says, the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice.
We got to get the hell away from y'all in order to be able to do this. Go ahead.
We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to Yahweh your God in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat from me. And Moses said, behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Yahweh, that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants.
Now, mind you, again, now it's flies. So here we have death that comes in those rivers that drives the frogs out. The frogs die. Because the frogs die and stunk, as it said earlier in the chapter, now you have flies coming out to circle the corpses of the frogs. It's all a chain reaction through the spirit. Read.
It says, from his servants and from his people tomorrow, but let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore, in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahweh.
Stop lying to us, nigga. You see? Read.
And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go. Again.
There you go. Still a damn lying ass.
I'll get that when we read 9 another time.
It goes more with 9?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay, all right. So that will be it on history. Let's go now to Deuteronomy 12, and we'll read to the end of 15.
God. This is Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 1. These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land, which Yahweh God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it all the days that ye live upon the earth. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree. That's Deuteronomy 3, Jeremiah 3.
And you're right.
And ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place.
So we're supposed to just totally, utterly obliterate all the idols of the Canaanites. That's what we're supposed to do, right? Read.
Ye shall not do so unto Yahweh your God. It says, but unto the place which Yahweh your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there.
So I can go into it.
Okay.
If there's something to go into.
Okay, come. Even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come. And thither ye shall bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and heave offerings of your hands, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and your firstlings of your herds and of your flocks. And there ye shall eat before Yahweh your God, and ye shall rejoice in all that ye put your hand unto, ye and your households, wherein the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. Yeah, and that's a problem. Is when you go, like, for example, when you read the book of Judges at the very end, it says that the children of Israel did evil, and that every man walked after his own eyes. And that's what our people do this day. Like, I remember I try to bring my friends into the truth. And a lot of my friends, and I'm sure people that are listening to this can attest to it, everybody has their own truth, right? Everybody wants to do what seems right in their own eyes. But that's why we have the perfect laws of the Most High, because everybody's moral code is indicative off of their life experiences and the morals that was bestowed upon them, whether it be through their parents teaching them or their life experiences and the conclusions that they've come to. So basically, you can have someone who, in their eyes, it's okay to be a homosexual, but according to the Most High God, it's not okay to be a homosexual, right? So everyone shouldn't walk in what's right in their own eyes. They should do what the Most High God told them to do. But that's a serial problem that our people have, is thinking that they know every damn thing, right? And they just gonna do whatever sounds good to them and feels good to them, instead of doing what the Most High God told us to do. But verse 9, it says, for you are not as yet come to the rest into the inheritance which Yahweh your God giveth you. But when ye go over Jordan and dwell in the land which Yahweh your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which Yahweh your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. It says, thither shall ye bring to all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offering of your hand, and all your choice vows which ye vow unto Yahweh. And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God, ye and your sons and your daughters, and your men servants and your maidservants, and the Levite that is within your gates, for as much as he hath no part nor inheritance with you. Because the Levites, we didn't have an inheritance, right? The Most High was our inheritance. Verse 13, take heed to thyself that thou offer not thy burnt offerings in every place that thou seest, but in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of thy tribes, there thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, and there thou shalt do all that I command thee. Meaning you can't just go and do the offerings wherever the hell you want. There's specific places that the Most High God told us, okay, this is where you do your burnt offerings. Not, you know what I mean, at your cousin Ray Ray's house. Verse 14. But verse 15. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. And that's right there. We went into a lesson, I want to say it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, where the title was, is lust a sin? And the answer is no. Lust is not a sin. Now, there's difference between lust of the flesh and lusting after, like, for example, right here in verse Deuteronomy 12 and 15. It says, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Like, if you see something that is appetizing to you, was that a sin because that burger looks good? No. Right? It says, according to the blessing of Yahweh thy God, which he hath given thee, the unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the hart.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, go ahead. You bring.
That's not saying you can eat unclean foods. That's saying if they're clean or if they're unclean, they can eat that. It's not saying you can eat a pig.
Yeah, it means, it doesn't matter if you're ceremonially unclean. It has no bearing on your ability to eat freely. All right. So read.
You'll have a Christian, some dummy Christian, try to read that and say you see even in the Old Testament you can eat unclean food. No,
retarded. It
says verse 16. Only ye shall not eat the blood, ye shall pour it upon the earth as water.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Esau, he know he's breaking down.
Yeah, he wants to eat the blood. Moses said, pour it out, man. You need to pour out a little liquor. You need to let the blood out of that animal before you eat it. Read.
God. It says, thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or of thy wine, or of thy oil, or of the firstlings of thy herds, or of thy flock, nor any of thy vows which thou vowest, nor thy...
The water to awake sleeping lions. Go ahead.
It says, nor thy free will offerings, or heave offerings of thy hands.
Well, you can't eat that. You got to bring that to the temple. You let the Levites deal with that. Right, read?
But thou must eat them before Yahweh thy God, in the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose.
You got to bring them to the temple. Right, read?
Thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, in all that thou puttest thine hands unto. Verse 19. Take heed to thyself, that thou forsake not the Levite as long as thou livest upon the earth.
Read that one again, please.
This is Deuteronomy 12 and 19. Take heed to thyself, that thou forsake not the Levite as long as thou livest upon the earth.
As long as you live, you better not forsake a Levite. Remember that, right? Read.
Come. It says, when Yahweh thy God shall enlarge thy border, as he hath promised thee, thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longeth to eat flesh. Thou mayest eat flesh, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
So that's a cut on the vegan doctrine.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And the place which Yahweh thy God hath chosen to put his name there, be too far from thee, then thou shalt kill of thy herd and of thy flock, which Yahweh hath given thee.
Read.
As I have commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, so thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Thou shalt not eat it, thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Thou shalt not eat it, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of Yahweh. Only thy holy things which thou hast, and thy vows thou shalt take, and go into the place which Yahweh shall choose.
And then bring it to the temple, right? Read.
And thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord thy God. And the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of the Lord thy God, and thou shalt eat the flesh.
So that's how you do the sacrifices to this day. The Levites, through voodoo, we do the sacrifices the same way. All right? By pouring blood on that altar. Right, read.
Observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of Yahweh thy God. When the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them and dwellest in their land, take heed to thyself, that thou be not snared by following them after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise.
They don't even ask about it.
Yeah.
He said, when we go in this land, don't even ask about the religious system that they had set up. Just kill it all, destroy it. Don't even make an inquisition, because that may spark a demon on you that will make you try to go and seek it out and follow it yourself. Right? Read.
Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination to Yahweh, which he hateth, have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods. That's Wisdom of Solomon 12. Right
they child sacrifice.
Which I hate, yeah. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it.
Just do what God says. Right, read.
This is Deuteronomy 13 and 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams,
somebody's supposed to be a prophet or has a dream. I have a dream, right? Read.
And giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign of the wonder come to pass,
and it happens, right? Read.
Whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods.
If they say, let us go after other gods outside of Yahweh, read.
Which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
I don't care if he does a miracle. You don't listen to anybody who tells you to turn from Yahweh. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah, officer Ayashawat. But you never go against the Most High, no matter what anybody's telling you. That what did Paul say? Paul got that scripture in the New Testament. Be an angel, whoever, you don't depart from the love of the Most High. Right, read.
Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahweh your God proveth you to know whether ye love Yahweh your God with all your heart and with all your soul.
He's testing you out, right? Oh, unique with the water, sister. Go ahead.
It says, ye shall walk after Yahweh your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death.
That's right. Anybody telling you, and that's why they're lucky we under grace right now.
Yeah.
Right? Because Anybody teaching anything we need to go off into Kemet or the Trinity or anything like that, we just put y'all to death in that time.
Yeah, it's real simple.
Okay? Brothers like myself, Levitical priest, brothers like Levitical priest Hassan Karab sitting next to me. Oh, you want us to do what? Just death. You see what I'm saying? We just did it like that.
Yeah, if you ever seen the movie The Dictator, right? When he wants someone to put it there, he'll just get a little notion, right? Just like a little. That's how we would do it. Oh, he wants us to go and Ashtoreth.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He wants to go to Magic City. Okay.
Right. And we would just put you to death. We wouldn't. It would be no. It would be no mercy. To be honest with you, it wouldn't even be a hesitant. I don't think brothers would even hesitate to kill you.
There's no reasoning with that thing.
Yeah, you're not supposed to try to sit there and understand it and ask why it, made the decision it made. You're supposed to look at that thing and want it to, and have the spirit to put it to death. That's if I could.
You want to save it from itself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That you deliver such unto Satan for the
of his soul, so his body.
Yeah.
Deliver his body so his soul can be saved, right? His spirit can be saved.
Because you're just if you're not serving the Most High, you're not even doing good to yourself.
That's right.
Okay. This is Deuteronomy 13 and I'm gonna read 5 again. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death.
One of my favorite chapters in the whole law right here is Deuteronomy 13. Okay. If you're a Levitical priest, you understand. But go ahead.
It says, shall be put to death because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee.
It's evil. You got to get rid of it. How do you get rid of it? You got to exterminate. It's that simple. Go ahead.
It says, if thy brother, the son of thy mother.
It say even if it's your brother, read.
Or thy son.
Your own child, read.
Or thy daughter.
Or your own daughter, read.
Or the wife of thy bosom.
Your own wife, read.
Or thy friend.
Or your best friend, read.
Which is as thine own soul.
Your friend, again, your best friend that you tight with. That's like your own soul, read.
Entice thee secretly. Saying, let us go and serve other gods.
Let's go and, let's deal with this. Let's go to Magic City.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. Hey, let's say it up the strip.
Oh, man, you know what he's looking. Right. Go ahead.
Which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are round about you. But yeah, that would be Magic City. Nigh unto thee, or far off from thee.
Or any damn people.
Right. From the one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him.
You don't listen, right, read?
Nor hearken unto him. Neither shalt thy eye pity him.
Right.
Neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him. But thou shalt surely kill him.
You got to kill him. He's got to die. Your best friend, your child, your wife. Right, read?
Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death.
You gotta be the first person. You see what I'm saying? Not only this person got to die, you got to be the first person to die. You got to cast the first stone. You see? My speaking will be up on Thursday. Awake Sleeping Lions. Go ahead.
It says, and afterwards the hand of all the people. Then everybody
else. But you got to cast that first stone. Thus saith the Lord. Read.
And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he has sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy God.
That's right. Anything trying to take you away from Yahweh in the ancient times, under the Levitical priesthood, anything trying to separate from Yahweh got to get put to death, period. Got to get eradicated, got to cease from existence. Period. Read.
Which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. Yeah, I mean, let me tell y'all something. If y'all, that's right, sister. The Most High does not play.
That's right.
He don't play games. If you, let me just keep going.
Yeah. Keep going, man. Because these ain't working. These just expired or something.
Okay,
my other ones is in the panic.
If you see somebody, because let me tell y'all something, family. Watching somebody get stoned to death. If you see that, it's first of all getting stoned. That's not a slow experience. It's not a quick type of death. That's a very long and dreadful death. You see what I'm saying? Watching someone literally get hit with so many rocks that they drop dead. If you see that, whatever they did, you're going to want to say, damn. Whatever he did, I don't want to do it because that's what's going to happen to me. That's what it means, right? It says, verse 12, If thou shalt hear say in one of thy cities, which Yahweh thy God hath given thee to dwell there, saying, Certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known, then shalt thou inquire and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword. Yeah, so if other nations want to...
Huh? You're going to have to bring that back out.
Yeah. That's
my favorite right
Yeah, this is a good one.
My favorite.
That's a good one. I'll read that again.
Go ahead.
It says, if thou shalt hear say in one of thy cities, which Yahweh thy God hath given thee to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out.
Undesirable.
Okay.
Right, go ahead.
Are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city.
Ishmael still stones people. Levi still stones people.
Yeah.
Benjamin even stones
even
people.
Benjamin.
The Hamites be stoning people. All right.
Damn near everybody
except the tribe of Judah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all here in America, you know, y'all got to deal with Esau's laws. All right, you can get on there in Haiti, man. Sodomite mess around and get a tire put on his neck and let that thing ablaze. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the Judah doesn't stone people. Judah gets stoned with people.
Yeah, that's true. Get stoned, right? Want to get high all the time. You see? Go ahead.
From among you, and withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known. Then thou shalt inquire and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be true.
So you investigate. The Levitical priest would investigate, right, Reed?
Con. And then the Levites, you watch CSI, stuff like that.
We launch a probe.
Yeah. We're the real CSI, man.
That's right, Ak, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the Bible.
That's us. It says, we're the men.
We're the men.
Let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known. Then thou shalt inquire and make search, and ask diligently. And behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein. And the cattle...
that whole city, if that whole city went off, that whole city, everyone in there gotta die. Go ahead.
And all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this isn't... like, what y'all seen them pictures on the back of them stickers on the back of the car to coexist? Ain't no goddamn coexisting with Baal. Ain't no coexisting with Ashtoreth.
Right.
We're going to just put you to death. Ain't no coexist. You get down or lay down.
All right. With this Yahweh thing.
Oh, yeah, with this truth of ours. With this truth. Okay, verse 16. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and thou shalt burn it with fire.
It all got to be burnt. All this is to make an example of this city. We're not taking things from that city. We're killing everybody, everything, and we're burning everything. So it'll serve as a consistent example of what not to do. The same way how the Most High gonna do with America.
That's right.
Who also is a place given to idolatry. Right?
Yeah, you can.
Go ahead.
It says, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof, every whit. For Yahweh thy God, and it shall be in heap forever. It shall not be built again.
Richard Gray, real quick. Naphtali is the indigenous Argentinian Chileans, not the Samoans. The Samoans are stinking, filthy heathens.
Yeah, they're
according to the Bible. Pig, rotisserie pig frying, grass skirt wearing heathens. All right? Uncivilized, slow animals of people.
And they stank and I hate them.
Stink and I hate them. So go ahead.
So like, okay. Where are we? Okay. We are right here, verse 17. And there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thine hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee as he hath sworn unto thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of Yahweh thy God, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh thy God. This is Deuteronomy 14:1. Ye are the children of Yahweh your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
That's right. All them lines in your eyebrows and all that stuff Negroes be doing, that's off. Right? Go ahead.
Can't get no tattoos.
And as well as tats. Don't get tattoos. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a
Oh yeah, Richard, you know. Shout out my brothers out there in Carson, all right? On both sides. You've been around them damn heathens, those culture appropriators out there, them heathen Samoans. They just want to claim blood, Paru out there. They're nothing but appropriating our culture. You see? So shout out to all the blacks and Hispanics out there in the city of Carson. Okay, Carson 13, 190, the Scottsdales, etc. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Con. Awake sleeping lions. I don't know where you've been. It's such a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pigarg, and the wild ox, pygarg, and the wild ox, and the chamois, and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney.
So don't eat rabbits and camels, right?
For they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof, therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And whatsoever hath not fins and scales, ye may not eat, it is unclean unto you.
Of all, so it's just giving us a dietary. Shrimp, crab, lobster is unlawful. Go ahead.
Of all clean birds ye shall eat. But these are, oh God.
Well, hey, read. Go ahead, just read it.
But these are they which ye shall not eat: the eagle, and the ossifrage, and the osprey.
Does it say chicken anyway?
No.
Chicken. No. Listen. That means you can eat chicken.
What idiot, you idiots. And the gledge, and the kite, and the vulture.
Watts, Most High will be gonna come to Watts, man.
That's
all right, and teach that truth. His brother Hassan's father grew up in Watts. All right, I see a brother out of Del Amo. See, so Carson is waking up in the spirit. Another brother from Carson I deal with on the Facebook, man. So that's beautiful, right? Read.
Con, it says, and the gled, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cacao, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lopping, and the bat, and every creeping thing that is, wow, and every red chicken or turkey. That's very interesting. And every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you; they shall not be eaten. But of all
that, we said that what?
That every creeping thing that flieth.
That what?
Flieth.
Flieth.
Yeah,
do a chicken fly?
No.
Y'all ever seen the movie called Chicken Run?
Yeah.
Read.
Never mind. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you let them brothers know. First off, you be around them damn filthy Samoans. They don't have the same culture as us, man. Okay, myself, Asad Karab sitting next to me, the brother Danyala Bunyamin in the chat. We listen, man. We know the Japhetic, the Samoan people, all right?
Yeah.
And we know they're not our people.
No.
Okay, we know the other tribes as well, and we know they are our people. The spirit beareth witness.
Yeah.
All right? So read.
Yeah, really, if I just say this, you got 12 tribe Negro cats. Hispanics are niggas too. That's and right. Their spirit just bears it. Japhites, they're not that. They're just wannabes.
Man, tell them go play a ukulele.
Yeah, go play. You know what I mean? Go chuck a coconut in the you know what I mean? Go do something. Stop appropriating our culture, man.
First off, have you ever heard their language before? You see what I'm saying? They don't even sound like our languages, man. You see, but like the brother said, a copycat. I'm gonna show you something. The Northern Kingdom tribe, the Northern Kingdom tribes constantly trying to be Crips and Bloods. I mean, you have some, but the Northern Kingdom tribes, what do they? They have their own things.
Yeah.
The Serranos, the Norteños, the Latin Kings, etc. Right? Yeah, we can't eat catfish. Okay. But what do they damn Samoans do? They want to come and run behind and be Crips and be Bloods and Parus and all of that. You see what I'm saying? They're copying us. Versus Issachar and the other Northern Kingdom tribe, they got their own thing. You see? But go ahead. Soy ufa. Go ahead.
Man, damn Javette. Okay. But of all clean fowls you may eat. You shall not eat anything. God, this is such a cut right here. I love the scripture. You shall not eat anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger.
That's right. Give it to these other people. Right? who you don't love, give them something that died of quote unquote natural causes. With this brother right here, Laquan. Shout out to Laquan, man. This brother's crazy. Go ahead.
Thou shalt give it to the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien.
To an alien. That doesn't mean a Martian, all right? That means a white man, an Arab, a damn Hamite, a Samoan.
Yeah.
All right? Give it to them who you don't love.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, what's the is it Martin the Martian?
Marty the Martian, something like that. The little nigga with the green hair.
with the little beam.
With the joint, with the joint on.
It says, or thou mayest sell unto an alien, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not see the kid. Oh God, this one too. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk.
The white man thinks you can't eat a cheeseburger. Nigga, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna go to In-N-Out. I'm gonna go to Steak and Shake and get my damn Frisco melt, nigga. And you not finna stop me. You see what I'm saying? So they're retarded. Not eating a kid in his mother's milk means you don't eat a lamb until it's weaned from the breast, until it's not done drinking milk from his mother's breast. It has nothing to do with putting a slice of cheese on a burger. You idiots.
How stupid could you be?
I'm gonna say it's just not your culture. That's why they do that.
Right.
Why they had a lock hanging off the side of their hand.
right.
It's just not their culture. They're just trying to figure what is this? Maybe it means this. It's clear they're not the people of this Bible, man. Right. It's clear.
It's not just fit. They just can't put it in there.
They just don't get it.
So they're trying to put you know what I mean? Like they cut a triangular pineapple and they're trying to fit it into like a pizza.
They're trying to fit it into a damn a cylinder. Right. And it's just not working.
The Jewish man. Let me tell you something about the Jewish man. Salaki, I'm gonna be off topic, but he's one of the dumbest people on earth, and it's disgusting. But there is some comedic value in watching him try to do our customs, because when I see the Jewish man at the Wailing Wall banging his head against stone,
it's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny to me. Okay?
And I'm going to say this. I remember when the elders, when they first went over there to Israel, and they saw the Akim, they saw the elders in their garments, and the Esau seen them, and said, man, who are y'all, man? Like, and Matatu said, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. And they were like, how do you know what tribe you're from? What tribe am I from? He said, y'all are the Edomite.
He do me.
You see what I'm saying? They don't even know what tribe they from, man. Right? So read.
Okay. It says, thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed that the field bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there, the tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and of the firstlings of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Yahweh thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which Yahweh thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then thou shalt, oh God, well.
There's another cut, read.
Then thou shalt turn it into money.
No, tithes ain't money. What does it say?
Thou shalt turn it into money.
See that? Liquidate.
Yeah.
So they were paying tithes with money also for you simpletons, read.
Come.
It's called a liquidation. Turn it into money, read.
And bind up the money in thine hand, and thou shalt go unto the place which Yahweh thy God shall choose.
Well, why do you think in the New Testament Yahweh said, I saw everyone throwing money into the temple?
What about that story he gave with the poor woman?
That's right. The 2 mites.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a cut. Let's see. Then thou shalt turn it. I don't mean to be off topic, but we're sitting here, we're reading the law, and we're sitting here laughing. When's the last time you've heard a Jewish man read the Torah and they're sitting there like having a good time reading it?
You see what I'm saying? And tapping into it like it's really a part of their culture.
They're sitting there about to drop dead reading.
First, just boring as hell. You know what I'm saying? Doing all that madness, man.
No,
they're the devil.
They sit there doing this when they read. I'm like rocking back and forth. Like they got what's the nigga from coming Back to the Future? Michael. What's his name?
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox
with the Parkinson's.
With the Parkinson's.
Yeah,
that's what the Jewish man has when he reads the Torah. Is the Parkinson's. The Parkinson's like. It says, "Thou shalt turn into money and bind up the money in thine hand, and thou shalt go unto the place which Yahweh thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow the money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before Yahweh thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shalt lay it up within thy gates."
So it's talking about a full harvest cycle. And whatever the amount of that is, you bring that forward, right, Reed?
Come. It says, "And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahweh thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand." Which
so that's like a bit, kind of like a welfare program that the Most High had to set up in Israel, where of course Levi not having inheritance, but we weren't allotted land to where we can go and cultivate and do things like that because we're busy being priests. So Levi, and then like I said, the stranger, the widow, the fatherless, meaning the Israelite who was maybe born outside of Israel and journeyed back and wanted to reconnect. All those things that happened, all those particular individuals were able to come and eat from the excess that you would have. And you would essentially donate a 10th part of all that you would have in order to provide for, those of us that were of the demographics that would be in need. Right? Read.
Come. This is Deuteronomy 15:1. "At the end of every 7 years thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Yahweh's release."
Carolyn, that's tithes that we just read, but there's also alms as well. Oh my goodness gracious. Aliyah Shabbai Na'ima, Yahweh Shem Yashar Barakatah, per usual with the water. Big powerful shout out to the sisters. The sisters are giving great and much appreciated contributions to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yashar. Blessings, abundant, Gadal, Barak, Akwakin. Right, so read.
It says, "Or of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again. But that which is in
thy..." It said of the foreigner. See that? This non-Israelite, you can sell something that died in natural causes to him. You can lend unto him unto usury. You see what I'm saying? Read.
"Thou mayest exact it again. But that which is in that which is thine with thy brother, thine..."
You can give him what they call a predatory loan here in the world. Right? Read.
"Thine hand shall release."
But you can't do it to your brother. You forgive your brother. Meaning, it comes in a year of Jubilee. Another Israelite is forgiving his debts. A heathen, you exact it again. Like you're refinancing the debt, so to speak. Right, read?
"Save when there shall be no poor among you, for Yahweh shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, for an inheritance to possess it."
Meaning the Most High said eventually you ain't going to need to lend nobody nothing, because we're all going to be blessed to the point where we're not going to be in need to ask anybody for anything. Right? If we simply would keep the laws, we would realize that. Right? So read.
"Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy God."
Listen to all the laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Read.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For Yahweh thy God blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign.
That's what's going. If we kept the laws, we wouldn't have to go in a bank and ask this devil for nothing. He would be asking us for everything. Right? Read.
"And thou shalt reign."
Not just him. You have the Chinese coming in. They want to come into Haiti, give Haiti $30 billion. That wouldn't be happening if we kept the laws of God. If Levi, the so-called Haitian, was being the priest we were supposed to be, the Chinese would be coming to us asking us for 30 Bs. You see what I'm saying? So read on.
"And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee."
That's right. That's how it's supposed to be. But because we rejected the laws of God, here we are being reigned over by many nations. Right? Chiefly the devil. Right? Read.
"If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother." Verse 8.
In what chapter?
15. We're almost done. Only like 15 more verses.
So like I said, you don't harden your heart. You see a brother in need, man, you charitably give unto that brother. Read.
But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him.
And say wide. Not a little bit wide. Read.
And shall surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth.
We're in Deuteronomy, Margaret. Go ahead.
But where that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand. Oh, you know Jake wanted to do this.
You know it, nigga. This is how we know it's talking about niggas.
Oh, you know it. And thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee.
Yeah, you see that? Most High jack you up for that. Right, read.
And thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing Yahweh thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land.
I mean, you're always going to have brothers in need and sisters in need amongst you, right, read?
And therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother.
So be charitable, read.
To thy poor.
Charity and alms and things of that nature cover a multitude of sins, right? It's why you don't, if somebody wants to give alms, you don't want to deny them of it. Why? Because it's covering, the Most High is going to bless them accordingly, right? A brother came by camp in Atlanta this past weekend. Now I could have, the brother seemed like he may be on the streets, but he went in his pocket and he put out like $4, I want to say. And my first mind was to go, nah, brother, because it seemed like the brother was on the streets. I couldn't confirm that, but it kind of seemed like it. But then I said, well, if I deny this man, when I'm denying him an opportunity to cover his sins. And if he is in fact on the streets, $4 may be substantial to him. So what do I do here? Do I say, oh, I don't need it? Of course we don't need it. Of course the Most High is going to provide whatever. Yahweh Shai talked about that when he said, don't worry about it. The money's in the fish's mouth. Most High is going to provide, but are you going to allow that brother to get an arm off and cover sins on his behalf? Are you going to allow that? Right? Are you going to facilitate that? Because that's an important thing to facilitate and assist a brother in. Right? So it was $4, and then we ended up, it was beautiful because as we were leaving, we were all famished, thirsty. The crowds were crazy. There was no stores around, but there happened to be a brother selling water on the streets. Boom, here you go. Here's $4. Give me 4 waters. Akim now are replenished, minister to, and that brother who gave us that $4 now his sins is off of him. You know? All through the Spirit. So all glorification to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai for that, right? So read.
I had a similar situation. Actually, when I was teaching, because I'm in Texas now. When I was back on the West Coast teaching by myself, I had a brother come up to camp, and he was trying to similar situation. I couldn't tell if he was for certain on the streets, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. And he was trying to get me. It might have been like $3-4 too. And I really did say, nah, brother, no, because I didn't want, because that to me that's probably his like last $3 or $4.
Exactly. That's the first thing you want to do that.
Yeah. But this, I'm dead serious. And I think I might have had this recorded too, because I usually go live. I went live when I do camp. This brother literally forced me to take his money. He put the money in my pocket. So there wasn't nothing I could do. So that just shows, like, and that goes right back. We were talking about it earlier about the woman who gave damn near all that she had, and then that's why how should I ask who gave more? The rich man that gave, like, if you have $1 million in the bank and you give a $10,000 donation, that's not as much as if someone has $100 in the bank and they give a $50 donation. That's half of what they have.
Exactly, which Yahweh Shai spoke about, right? But go ahead.
It says, verse 11, for the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor and to thy needy in thy land.
Be charitable. Read.
It says, and if thy brother in Hebrew man or in Hebrew woman,
your brother, that's another good one. In addition to Leviticus 19, to prove who your brother and your neighbors are. Read.
Be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years. Then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee.
Exactly. So you can't have a Hebrew servant over 7 years' time. Right, read.
It says, and when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally.
And look, you see that? So then when they went out, TJ Maxx, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah Wata Wata, even when you have the Hebrew servant, when they leave, you give them substance to leave with. You give them things of monetary value and things that get established themselves. This is the love that we have amongst each other, where we put our people in position. This is other nations are utilizing this that God gave us, and they're putting themselves in position with us while we are not. And it's crazy. Like I was with a brother, Asar, and he was working a security job, and I used to go over there and kick it with him. And there was a Hamite he kept telling me about that was over there that was working security with him, from Sudan, a real Egyptian, and he was basically saying, he said, you know, in the Bible, the Levites 10%. He said, at 10% of all the money I make, I send back to Sudan. And that helps another Sudanese man come over here, come to America, get money, and put on the next Sudanese. You see what I'm saying? They're literally stealing from out of our book, our customs, and our culture. You see what I'm saying? But we don't realize how beneficial it is. They are all benefiting from this right now, in real time. This stuff that we're doing, this Bible that we're reading about, it works. Yeah. We just need to follow it, man, through the Spirit.
Well, yeah, why do you think the so-called Jewish man is the richest man on the planet?
That's right.
Because he follows our book.
Kind of.
Now, does he go off on some things? Certainly. But even him following it half-ass has him at, if him following it half-ass has him as the number one man on the planet Earth, and he's the devil that the Bible speaks about. Imagine what if we followed it, who are God's chosen people wholeheartedly, how much further we would be.
That's right.
This is Deuteronomy 15. I'm going to keep going. Verse 14. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith Yahweh thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. And thou shalt remember.
So you give that charity according to the blessing that the Most High gave to you. Read.
And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt.
And you remember that we all came up from the bottom. We all came up out the mud, so to speak. Right?
Get fat. Get
you're gone.
You get the hell. What did John McCain say? He said, get out of my sight, you scumbag. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee, in thine house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an awl, and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever, and also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise.
So there's a specific type of earring that would be put in the ear of somebody who didn't want to be freed from, that servitude, Hebraic servitude. Go ahead.
It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, in serving thee 6 years, and Yahweh thy God shall bless thee in all that thou doest. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock thou shalt sanctify unto Yahweh thy God. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God year by year in the place.
So when that first animal was born, when you have a animal that in your herd, that first son that's born up out of there, you don't put that to work. You eat it before the Most High. It's sanctified. It said, that's why I say the Most High said all the firstborn that open the matrix are his. Every firstborn of the animals and of human beings belongs to the Most High. Okay, so for human beings, a ransom got to be brought, but for them animals, they got to be eaten if they're clean. If they're unclean, a ransom got to be bought for them. Right? So read.
It says, thou shalt eat it before Yahweh thy God year by year in the place which Yahweh shall choose, thou and thy household. And there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind, or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike.
Not food. Go ahead.
As the roebuck and as the hart, only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water.
Is it on that?
Yep.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Mess with us later this evening. We'll be doing the Situation Room, Most High Will, with Deacon Akai. So tune in then. Again, all praise Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.